So here we want to derive the quadratic formula, which is used to solve a quadratic function. So if we start with a quadratic function in standard form, so that would be ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, we can use completing the square to be able to derive the quadratic formula. So what we're going to do first is group the ax squared and the bx together, since they both have the x that we're going to be solving for. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and get it so that we just have a single x squared. So we're going to take a out, and if you're factoring a out of both, you get x squared plus b over a x. And then the c is still on the outside, equal to 0. Okay, what we're going to do is take the b over a, okay, and what we can do with it is complete the square. So make it into a perfect square trinomial. So we're going to take that b over a, multiply it by 1/2, so take half of it, which is going to be b over 2a. And we can take that and square it, because we want it to be a perfect square so that we have the same two factors. So that's going to end up being b squared over 4a squared. Okay. So if we add that to both sides, okay, because what you do to one side you have to do to the other. So we're going to take it, we're going to add it to the left side. Okay, and when you're adding it to the left side, you're actually doing that times the a. Okay, so don't forget the a was on the outside. So on the right side of our equation, we need to add the b squared over 4a squared times a, which is going to give you just b squared over 4a, because the a on the top and the bottom will cancel. So you're just left with one a at the bottom. Okay, so what we are left here is a perfect square trinomial. So you are actually able to factor that with the same two factors. So what those are going to be is x plus b over 2a times x plus b over 2a. Okay, and then since they are the same two factors, we can combine them together. So it makes it a times x plus b over 2a squared. We still have the plus c and equal to b squared over 4a. And then we want to try to start to solve for x. So getting x by itself, we're going to want to move the c to the other side. So I'm going to subtract c from both sides. Okay, and then get rid of the a that's multiplied on the outside. So we are going to divide both sides by a, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1 over a. So then that makes the right side into b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. Now, in order to combine everything that is on the right side here, we need a common denominator. So we're going to need to multiply the c over a by another 4a. 1 second, sorry about that. Okay, so when we do that, now we have x plus b over 2a squared equals, since we do have a common denominator now, we can combine the fractions. So on the top we have b squared minus 4ac, and over our common denominator, 4a squared. Okay, now to get rid of the square on this side, we are just going to take the square root of both sides. Okay, so that our left side is now just x plus b over 2a. And whenever you take the square root, you need to make sure to have plus or minus. So the square root of the top is plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. And the square root of the denominator becomes just 2a. Now we're almost there. We just need to get rid of the b over 2a next to the x. So we are going to subtract that from both sides. So we get x equals negative b over 2a plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, also over 2a. So since they have the same denominator, we can combine the numerators together. So that is going to give us x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, all over the same 2a, which is our quadratic formula.